Greetings, aloha, ilakesh, and aloha. I get asked strange questions on a weekly basis. Am I the one? Am I a wizard? Am I a shaman? You name it. Am I Gandalf? Well, I can be anything you want me to be. I have to say, I was really humbled. It is my birthday in 6 days' time, and I will be 2 years old. Don't be fooled by the outer garment. I'm not alone. Whatever I say of myself could be said equally of you, if you choose to find it. That's entirely up to you. You can do whatever you want. It's of no consequence. It just certain choices do have consequences, and pretty much like the scales, if when it comes to the weighing what is known as the Judgment Day, imagine if it's a heavy heart. Well, it's going to be like a sort of seesaw. When you put a heavy object on one side, it's going to throw the other one off the other end. Far better to stay neutral to it all, because it can be fun, all of this. This reality is a theatre. It's the great play that's already been written. It's the Old Testament and the New Testament, and meant, obviously, is mind, and it's a test. It is mandatory testing. Testing to see how humanity will react, how it will behave. What's been shown is just a mirror. That's all that's being shown to you. It's showing you how to do things from an opposite perspective. So sometimes it's better to not, well, unconditional love, it has two aspects. Everything is duality, because sometimes it's kinder to put a pet down than let it suffer. And you wonder why people won't wake up. Well, it's an apocalypse, it's an epoch collapse, it's the end of an age. Shown to you in all the films. There's plenty of Walking Dead in great numbers that just don't want to do, don't want to be, or too busy doing. It's just the way it is. There's an aspect of me, a Janus aspect. I do like to take things to titanic proportions and drop people in the middle of an icy cold ocean with no sight of land and not knowing which way to go. It's only a test. You're not going to come to any harm from it, except the harm that you do yourself and what you feel. If you won't face that shadow side, you won't fully go within and explore yourself and find out who and what you are. Well, that's your choice. But there is a term that is used which could be applied to me. Only you know that. I've been called a walking dictionary. Well, more a thesaurus, really. Because a thesaurus is many expressions of a word and its meaning. And what is a thesaurus? It's the aura of these aura. It is of many colours, but if you're only going to see the outer garments, I am the living word, and I come in many garments, like any wardrobe has many garments. I could be Neville Goddard. I was Neville Goddard. I am Neville Goddard. I am me in many forms. It is the living word. The word is not just a singular word. It is all 66 books of magic. It is the entire play. from the Genesis to the reveal of the revelations, and it just goes round and round in a cycle. The question you need to ask yourself is, what page are you on? Are you on the same page as me, for example? Remember, you can play many parts in this play. You might want to play Enoch. You might want to be pointing out all the errors to everybody and the way they're heading. And why not? What's wrong with that? That's basically what truth-seeking is. It is playing the part of Enoch. There are those that just don't want to be helped. You can play the Pontius Pilate and wash your hands of the whole situation and just let them go about totally oblivious. It might be kinder to do that. It depends on your perspective. Or you might want to play the ultimate part and find the Christ within. That's entirely up to you. The picture that's on the screen is of totally irrelevance. I just thought it was a nice picture from a little calendar. You got the sun and you got, ironically, you have a cross. We all have our cross to bear. And then, of course, we're in a duality world, and each of those figures has a shadow side. It is furthest from the light, but it could be quite interesting to look at that. Anyway, we're not supposed to be doing a breakdown on this picture. I was requested to do a breakdown on a song called The Sound of Silence. So I thought, why not? It's something I've looked into before, but never actually put on a video. So now is probably a good time to do it, because there is no time like the present. So the song begins, "Hello darkness, my old friend. I've come to talk with you again, because a vision softly creeping left its seeds while I was sleeping, and the vision that was planted in my brain still remains within the sound of silence." Well, straight away, this is, as Matt on Quantum of Conscience would call, on the fly, basically. So I'm breaking this down as we go. Well, hello darkness, my old friend. That is your shadow side. That is when you go within yourself, because it's dark in there if you think about it. I come to talk with you again, where you're talking to yourself. That's all we are all doing, really. We are just talking to ourselves. I am you and you are me. Because a vision softly creeping left its seeds while I was sleeping. Well, that is the Creator within. You just have to remind yourself, remember. The vision was planted. It is the fulfillment of Scripture. It is when you play that final part that there is no escaping from it. So left its seeds while I was sleeping. Well, it's in the unconscious states when you are free to go outside the physical body of this shadow world. The vision that was planted in my brain still remains within the sound of silence. So are you listening to yourself? Are you going into the silence, as Neville Goddard says in every lecture, about going into the silence? And then when I think of Orison Swett Marden's great works, The Keys to the Kingdom, it's talking about being still. Because you have emotions, they are motions, but it is in the stillness that the real motion begins, because it is your own wonderful human imagination that is the creator, and your mind sets the limits of what you will allow. Anyway, back to the song. So we move on to the next verse. "In restless dreams I walked alone, narrow streets of cobbled stone. 'Neath the halo of a street lamp I turned my collar to the cold and damp, when my eyes were stabbed by the flash of a neon light that split the night and touched the sound of silence." Well, in the restless dreams you walk alone. That is in your subconscious when you go off and you explore other realms. When you go into yourself and find that there is only you, because alone is all one. This is why you'll see depictions of Buddha in a still position, in the lotus position. It is all about being still. The teacher does not seek out the students come to the teacher. So the narrow streets of cobbled stone, that's all you could say is the illusions of this world, because they can be difficult to walk on at times, to navigate through this illusory world. Beneath the halo of a street lamp, well, it's allegorical because a street lamp is above you. It is talking about your heavens, the light. It's actually inside your skull. But this is basically yet another message from the Creator that is a seed and an idea that manifested in remote writing through what you or I would call a songwriter. These are all messages from the Creator, everywhere you look. So we move on to the next line, when I can find it. I'm pausing a lyric version by a group called Disturbed. Quite ironic naming, but it was either that or Simon and Garfunkel, and no sort of coincidence, and certainly there's a symbolic reference to one having the angelic voice and the blonde hair and the other one having the dark hair. It is showing you light and dark between the two in the original version of the song. I'm just trying to move this up. Let's bear with me. Here we are. And in the naked light I saw 10,000 people, maybe more. People talking without speaking. People hearing without listening. People writing songs that voices never share, and no one dared disturb the sound of silence. So what is this verse saying? It is saying, in the naked light I saw, well, naked is not covered, it's not concealed, it is open and it is honest. It's the light. It's seeing with that inner eye, that first eye. 10,000 people, maybe more. Well, could you stand there and accurately count a large group of people when it gets over a certain number? People talking without speaking. People hearing without listening. Well, that's many, many people. They're unconscious. They're not awake. They are the walking dead that is being described there. People writing songs that voices never share, and no one dared. Well, back to Neville Goddard with this one. You dare to presume, as he tells you. The law of assumption. When you dare to assume that state that you want to be, that state you would like to be, so you remember the future. Be that being that you wish to be. You don't want to be that being. You don't separate yourself from it. You become it by bringing it into the now. Don't worry about how it gets here. That is totally irrelevant. There is a science behind that called quantum potential. It is easily demonstrable with the double-slit experiment, with the behaviour of photons between the way whether they're being observed or not being observed, and it is the interaction between that observation. It is when we use the power of our imagination, that is the power and the wisdom of God. It is the Christ within inside you, your own wonderful human imagination. And if you think about this, you are all in one. You are the Father, you are the Son, you are the bride, you are everything. They're all expressions. So yes, dare to break the silence, because these songs are giving out messages as much as any scripture or anything else. They are all messages to interpret if you use your imagination. They do then make sense. I mean, how many times have you listened to songs and never really listened to the words and looked into what they're saying? Here we go. Now we're coming on to the next lines. Fools, said I, you do not know. Silence like a cancer grows. Well, we're playing the part of Enoch here in this line. Hear my words that I might teach you. Take my arms that I might reach you. But my words, like silent raindrops, fell and echoed in the wells of silence. Well, there's your Jesus character as well. If you look at the biblical character that is known as Jesus, and you ask yourself, when he preached on the hill, did everybody in that story listen and believe him? Were there not many more people who saw the outer garment, saw the man in a human form, and made their mind up from what their two eyes saw, the deceiver? But that character is not talking about a physical reality. That character is talking about a spiritual, something that is outside of this shadow world. My father Israel, my father is real. Israel. They're all expressions of the same thing. So we go on to the next line. So the next verse says, and the people bowed and prayed to the neon god they made, and the signs flashed out its warning in the words that it was forming. And the sign said, the words of the prophets are written on the subway walls and tenement halls, and whispered in the sound of silence. So the people bowed and prayed to the neon god they made. That is the external, the illusory. Something that is outside of yourself is not the creator. That is a false god. It's a neon god that they made. It is an artificial creation. It is not real at all. This is an illusory world. What seems to be real is not real. What is real seems to be not real and is unseen in this reality. The sign flashed out its warning in the words that it was forming. Well, you can see this going on all around in this current lunacy. It is doing like it always does in the opposite perspective. Some people may call them reptilians or whatever you want to call them. There is nothing made that was not first made. So it is a branch off way, way back. The time scale is totally irrelevant because it is outside of you yet again. And let's not forget that the serpent in the garden is the creator. It was made by the creator, and is the creator playing a part in an opposite perspective. What you are being shown at the moment is basically what science would call eugenics. It is a filtering system. I mean, what would you do with a program, a computer program that is developed a virus or an error? Would you not put it in the recycle bin? There is no death. It is just reforming the clay, going down to the potter's house in Isaiah, in the Old Testament, that is being shown. Nothing is wasted. You can look at it from the dark side perspective. You can see the catacombs. You can see that nothing is wasted, even from the dark perspective. But they are only perspectives. People think there is a hell. Well, yes, in some ways there is, for the physical body over a very long time period. The physical vessel will be pulled down and be reformed. It will go down into what would be seen as the molten, the fiery pit. But the soul is not connected totally. The vessel is only a soul carrier. The soul does not die. It just gets put into another vessel. And just like any board game, you can go round and round as many times as you want. You can go back to the start and play again. That's entirely up to you. It's just how many times you want to do it. You write your own life sentence, and you can have successive life sentences. That is entirely up to you. You may want to play different parts. The choice is yours. It's called free will. Anyway, I hope that is an explanation that will make sense. But, yes, we do need to go over that. It says about, I didn't explain this bit, did I? Written on the subway walls and the tenement halls. Well, tenement, it's a reference to the mind. You attain, when you attend to yourself, you do the inner work. You go inside yourself, you observe yourself, you question why you are getting certain feelings from something somebody says. Why are you being triggered by it? Or why are you feeling elated or happy by it? They're all states of mind at the end of the day. You really should be the master and the captain of your own vessel. My arms are lifeboats. My voice is a lifeboat to help you be ashore of yourself. But I ain't going to do it for you. You got to meet halfway. But that's up to you. I can only guide in the words that I'm given to express, because I'm not doing this. This is just coming through me. I've handed over the controls to the Father. So I am the living word. I'm not exclusive. I'm not special. I have just found it within myself. And you have just as much opportunity to do that. There's no physical prowess. There is no skills you need other than that which you already have, and that is your own wonderful human imagination. That is within you. It doesn't matter what anybody else thinks. That is irrelevant. It is how you feel inside you, because the feeling is the secret. How you feel will create into this reality. Your feeling creates into this reality. This is how the media works. In the opposite perspective, it suggests ideas, and what you take from those ideas and how it makes you feel manifests into this reality. How it actually does it is all down to the Creator. It is outside of the comprehension while we are in this human vessel. We need to be incorporated, not in the corporations, but incorporated in love of the Creator as one. You won't disappear and dilute into some sort of primordial soup. You will still be your own personal expression of the Creator. And you can come round again if you so wish. There is no right or wrong to this. It is expanded consciousness, and to expand the consciousness is through experience. And don't forget, you don't have to stay in this reality. You can sidestep into a different reality or the same reality on a parallel.